Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We're taking the EZA SSJ4 GOGETA into ESPR. It's a little bit of an older stage being Fusion, but there's not too many stages he can actually attempt, so I can't imagine this is going to be too challenging for him to take on. Considering how well he did in a longer event, like, you know, GT Goku event and Vegeta event. Yeah, I don't think this will give him much trouble, if I'm being honest. We have 143k defense right now. We are going to get the LR Super Saiyan 4s on rotation with him for that setup. Of course, they're kind of not in that ideal scenario because they can't stack. We're going to start with an Icarus. You know, sensible thing to do. I don't want to use a Whis just yet, because if he does get supered, or I just kind of want to see, that's a lot of attacks to take in slot 1, and I just kind of want to see how much damage he will tank for without too much damage reduction. 112 and 41, and he's getting supered. Could counter this though. No. Took 55k with an Icarus. I mean, there's damage reduction, but isn't it? That's 35%. That's pretty good. To be fair, as I said, it is one of the older stages. And of course, he's like an incredibly recent EZA. So as I said, I can't imagine this will give him too much dip and hardly too much trouble. But still, 55k of an Icarus active. So without the Icarus, you're probably still talking about 100k, maybe a little bit less. Actually, no, maybe like 100k just over. Or maybe even a little bit less than that, which is pretty good. But it is one of the oldest stages. As I said, there's not really many stages he can actually attempt right now. But to be fair, in the Goku and Vegeta, did we seriously not a single stun off that first super attack? Go thanks, you're my guy for Super Battle Road. Like, I'm expecting some. There we go. Not. Okay, we got one of the stuns. That's fine. That is fine. But considering how well he was tanking in the likes of Goku event and Vegeta event, even without the Icarus active, like, my guy was tanking for like double digits before supering, before greatly raising his attack and defense, while we were doing our Goku and Vegeta runs. And he was tanking for double digits on like the late stages as well. So I can't imagine, with this being quite an older ESBR stage, I can't imagine he's taking too much on basics. I mean, he was taking double digits with the Icarus active. He'll probably take only a little bit more than that, maybe like a few thousand, which, to be fair, in ESBR, considering how many enemies can be attacking you all at once, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. And one major good thing is, we, of course, with his EZA, he became a full, what is it, 170 lead? Yeah, 170 lead for fusions. So we've got dual SSJ4 GOGETAs right now. The friend one is also rainbowed. Mine is getting closer to level 10 links, not quite there just yet. But I can't imagine he should have too much jip in here. We are also getting off the attack and defense minus 20% right now, which, I've said this before, it's not going to do too much. Like, you're not going to notice it like clear as day unless you literally had a side-by-side comparison of how much damage are you taking on, you know, the exact same unit from an attack from the exact same stage, and then put it side by side when you don't have the attack and defense minus 20% for extreme class enemies. So, as I said, I can't imagine it's doing too much for him, but it's something. It's doing a little bit extra, you know, for us to do a bit more damage, because they also lose defense, and for, you know, also for them to do a bit less damage as well. So, you know, it's coming in handy, but it's not overly noticeable. So without, literally without an item, we're tanking for double digits. We're tanking for double digits, which obviously is really good in you know, in a Super Battle Road environment. As I said, the only thing is, it's quite an old stage, so it's not completely fair to say, oh yeah, he's tanking double digits, he's ridiculously good in you know, in ESBR defensively, he will never die. Like, it's not completely fair, but there's just not really any newer stages that this guy can attempt, if we're being completely honest. So that's the only problem. I mean, we could have done Shadow Dragons, but yeah, I mean, once there's a newer stage, maybe we can take him into a newer one, see how he does there. But yeah, right now it's not going to be overly difficult for Gogeta to kind of just dominate here and take next to no damage while he does so. But the counter is definitely a great utility tool to have. Like, it is a really good utility tool to have, you know, especially when a newer phase does come out, a newer stage does come out. Obviously, I mean, you've seen the latest ESBR stages or the more recent ones. They do insane amounts of damage, like ridiculous amounts of damage. So when there is a newer stage that he can actually attempt, having the counter as like a utility tool in there is actually going to be huge. I mean, if RNG is in your favor, then obviously yes, because then you can counter multiple, you know, super attacks coming Gogeta's way. You know, you can hit a counter off. Ideally, you put him in slot 2. He supers, greatly raises attack and defense. You know, you get the counter off. That will do maximum amounts of damage. You have dupes in him, and he can hit a crit as well, do ridiculous damage while also, you know, hitting ridiculous damage from a super. And then also he has even more defense to kind of help him tank out the rest of the turn. But yeah, right now, it's fairly easy for him. It is definitely fairly easy for him. I'm not even going to use an item here just because we probably do not need to. With all them Deborah attacks and him having type advantage in slot 1, he can sit there. He can chill in slot 1. And then the SSJ4s can stack up twice with their 20 key or more in slot 2. Yeah, look at that. Double digits. Again, I know we have type advantage, but it's mainly because it's an older phase. But as I said, there's kind of nowhere else we can take Gogeta right now. There is literally no other stage we can currently take him into. But when there is a newer phase, you know, that hits a lot harder and it's definitely a lot more challenging, I do think, especially after he super attacks and greatly raises attack and defense for the turn, whether that's going to be in slot 2 or slot 3, I do think he will still tank really well, or relatively well for a unit who has done that and then not have an item active. And if you do use an item, like a Whis, he would probably tank for next to nothing or hardly anything in a Super Battle Road sense, or potentially even double digits. I mean, you never know. I mean, if he's doing it in, like, you know, the final couple of stages of Goku and Vegeta event, he could probably do it in ESBR. He may take a little bit more than double, maybe like a couple thousand, but, you know, in the grand scheme of things in ESBR, taking that on double digits, you know, while supering is pretty good. And, you know, if you have a Whis active, he could probably take double digits or just a little bit more than that. But yeah, so far he's kind of dominating, but that's, as I said, that is to kind of be expected, isn't it? It's kind of to be expected. I'm not surprised he's dominating. I said we're probably gonna have to do this again. It's like, okay, he took 44k there, but he did have type disadvantage. He did have type disadvantage, and he hasn't supered yet. So I mean, that's not bad damage to take. You know, he hasn't greatly raised attack and defense for the turn, and he had type disadvantage. So that's kind of fair. That's probably more realistically what he's going to be taking when a newer phase like Time Limit or something comes out. That you're going to be taking him into with like a newer updated ESBR. We should be good for the rest of the turn. Gotenks might even kill Deborah here. I mean, if he isn't dead, he's got an additional, so he's definitely going to be dead now. Okay, no, Deborah is dead. We've got extra damage off. Yeah, so far I'm impressed. I mean, given the circumstances, so far I'm definitely impressed. Given the circumstances. It's just a shame there's not an updated stage right now that I could take on to really test him out. This is kind of all we've got to show for it right now. And the amount of damage he can do in an ESBR stage as well is kind of ridiculous, especially once he gets that extra attack and defense. I've actually forgotten how much he gets. Let me actually pull up his wiki so I can remember. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, where are you? There you go. EZA. Yeah, the attack and defense plus 25% up to 50% for 5 turns with each super attack performed. Especially with that in slot 2 or slot 3 on like a more updated stage. Having that and supering and greatly raising your attack and defense as well by 50%. He should be tanking actually really well, especially with an item not active. And then, of course, when you do have an item active, he's probably going to be tanking for next to nothing. If you pop a Whis and he's got the extra attack and defense plus 50% from the supers, he's also super attacked for the turn as well and greatly raised attack and defense. Yeah, with a Whis active, he's probably definitely tanking for nothing. And then, as I said, as a great utility tool just to like avoid any damage but also deal a lot of damage back, having that counter is very useful to have. Having a great chance, a 70% chance to hit off a counter, is a very useful tool to have. It's just whether or not RNG is kind of feeling generous enough for you to actually get that off. And also how many times you can get it off. Like, you can't really rely on it, but at the same time, like, imagine you've done a UI Goku kind of 70% chance and just evaded like 3-4 attack, like super attacks in a row or something. That'd be kind of insane. But yeah, no, he should do really well. Once there's a newer phase, he would actually do really well, especially with that extra 50%, you know, for 5 turns, supering as well first before he gets hit. He would definitely be A-OK. We're probably going to get a Dokkan attack off, so I'm going to use an Usher. And we're definitely going to get it off with SSJ4 Gogeta. Are we going to get it off? Yes, just about, just about. But yeah, the amount of damage he does here as well, again, especially with the extra attack and defense plus 50%, he's pulling out 5-6 million attack stats. As long as you have him linked with like another SSJ4 unit, especially to get Saiyan Raw active, I'm pretty sure it's Saiyan Raw. He's doing some pretty gnarly damage, I'm not gonna lie. He's doing some pretty gnarly damage. No, it's not Saiyan. Oh no, he doesn't have Saiyan Raw, does he? Okay, no, the main one's Fierce Battle, that's the one. The extra attack plus 15%. Then you have Super Saiyan and Kamehameha. And that's about it for attack links. But as long as you have him linked up with just someone who links relatively well with him, mainly getting that Fierce Battle link active, and then, you know, you're getting that extra attack and defense plus 25% up to 50. Yeah, you're doing like 5-6 million attack stats. And if you have dupes, of course, there's potential for you to hit off the crits as well. Like, the amount of damage he can do here is actually pretty nice. Combined with the fact he has pretty decent defense. Once he's supered and has that part of his passive active, Gogeta should actually be quite a menace in ESBR. I mean, we've already kind of had an insight to that when it comes to longer events in the Goku and Vegeta event. He done really well, like exceptionally well. So in a shorter event where all you have to do is just do the most amount of damage as possible, he should be good, especially if you do get an additional off as well. If you hit an additional and he greatly raises attack and defense twice for the turn, defensively he's going to be just fine. Again, especially with an item active, you are taking nothing. He's going to do like 5-2, 5-6. No, actually, he'll do more than that. He'll do over a 6 mil attack stat in the second. Yeah, Gogeta dominates ESBR. And yes, this is an older stage, but I do reckon when there's a newer stage that drops, he will still be incredibly good there, as long as you have him with like another Gogeta unit or like an SSJ4 unit. I reckon he will still do relatively well, which I'll probably do when one drops. I think it'll be a fair test to do so. But let me know what you think down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys, and push.